On this show, you'll find inspiration, motivation, and advice from experts, as well as valuable tips on how to get started or improve your business. Let's dive into how you can begin and grow your wisdom business. Inspiring others looks different for everyone. How will you inspire? Welcome to the Wise Dome podcast, and today by no means is perfect. That is because you have me all to yourself, and I want to share the fact that, hey, nobody's perfect, because I was supposed to have edited a episode for today, and of course I didn't. A lot of things come up, when you're running your own business and so forth, so I didn't want to put that pressure on myself, and neither should any of us, and I hope you don't. You see, I was supposed to, like I said, have edited an episode ready for today, but instead I'm quite literally sitting in my wardrobe where it is the quietest and recording this based on my recent month of May. So I'm not going to be hard on myself because, well, it's been quite a big one, and honestly, I forgive myself for not being quite on target with a couple of tasks. Last minute preps are not easy, and I know, yes, if I had spent that extra couple of hours on that one night, I would likely have completed the episode that was going to go live today, and instead of my ramble. But hey, I chose family time and me time, and we all deserve that every now and then. So I am going to be kinder to myself, and at least I know that I'm not letting anyone down. Otherwise, the tune of this episode might be a little bit different. But back to my point, and I promise I do have one in there somewhere. Life isn't perfect, and neither are we. So, and I'm also going to add, actually, so it is so much better to plan ahead, just for the in-case moments, let's just say. And we all know having a life as an entrepreneur means strict time management to ensure that you look after everyone out there that rely on you and obviously in your business. Because, hey, in the end, they're the first port of, check, especially on my list of tasks and so forth every day. But as we dive into the month of June, and here in Australia, the month of June is where we start, end of financial year, preparing for that. So, we have to start looking at how we're shifting our time around to add in those tasks of financials and accounting and so forth. So it's a reminder again, for me to be kinder on myself, but also others out there who might be thinking, we've got our usual tasks and, oh God, we've got to do the financials and it's a big stress and blah, blah, blah. But, we have to shift things around every now and then, and that's okay. And people do understand because other people are likely in the same situation as you. And the best part is, though, I have a wonderful mentor, Jen Kirk. She taught me from the beginning the importance of planning. I've always known to plan based on being a product developer in my past life in retail and, always looking forward ahead, seasons ahead and so forth. That was my thing. But in business, even the simplest things like social posting and email prompts or even blog releases, they can all be scheduled. And these, of course, all relate to marketing. But I want to bring it to the point of what if you are actually a coach, a course creator, or a membership owner? You have to put a little bit more effort into that whole content that you're putting out there regularly. So planning is seriously important in this case because you literally earn from the content you put out there with your members and your audience and so forth. So one thing I've learned in my journey of creating Wisdom, which is our learning management and content management platform, is the importance of pace and scheduling. And stay with me, it all comes back. When creating our platform, we realized for content sharers, we had to ensure that we incorporated scheduling for our users, which would be, the people who are sharing their content, and pacing for their members. And, not everyone is running at the same speed. Like my husband and I always say, it'd be great if everyone would just move at the green lights, traffic lights, like Formula One drivers do. But alas, we don't. And the same goes with adding content and absorbing the content as well. And scheduling is the best thing about planning. You can create contents days, weeks, and even months in advance. Excuse the croak in my voice. And to schedule it. And then you can walk away. I don't suggest you walk away for months though, but you get the idea anyway. As a content sharer sharing your knowledge, you will hit points where you have a blank, we all have. But one thing I can say in relation to this and planning is to look back at events in your business. So this is in relation to like the topics that you might want to talk about. Look at the challenges and the wins. By using these as topics to talk about and use them as backup, so to speak, will just sort of help you fill in those little blanks that you might have when you're actually planning content that will fill in little spaces here and there when you're trying to reach out for marketing, or even just providing a bit of info on yourself in your content platform. The reason I bring this up is because, like I said, no one's perfect. And that means when you share these moments with your audience, they really do appreciate it. It might not be a topic within your offering exactly, but when people see the real you, they relate and appreciate you even more. And I guess with the above, that can be applicable to anyone in business, really, not just knowledge sharers. But of course, as this podcast, topic is around the journey of our guests and their wins and their challenges, I just felt it was fit to bring this up as, content topic for those who have those blank moments in planning. But back to the actual planning content out, not on the topics, but the hows. If, you plan ahead, the best thing to do is, jot down all the things that may pop up over the coming months and things that are external to business, those that may apply to your business as well. And you can begin to sort of map out the areas of where you may begin to get tight with your time and your regular tasks. And that's something that, hey, I am doing at the moment. And I have to remind myself of this all the time, hence why I'm here today talking about this, because, I did let that one slip a little bit. But here with today's episode, I went back to my list of challenges and wins in my past and found within that list something that reflected on exactly why I'm recording this episode today. Losing track of time and the importance of planning ahead, plus adding a list of content that we can use during those last-minute moments. I hope we don't need to rely on those last-minute topics, but here's a list of tips I tend to refer to help me time manage and plan. So, to bring it all back, tip 1 is take time to sit down to review the year ahead, just at a high level, and note down the possible events that can absorb your time over the certain months, weeks, or days. External events, internal events with your business, etc. Just note them down, and then you can sort of pinpoint exactly. And that's taken me to my next point, where you review your weekly tasks as well. And when you review them, check, really have a look at the time required for each. Can any of them actually be prepared or pre-prepared, and then scheduled, and therefore release more time for you to add towards the other tasks that you normally do, and give you also more time during those busier times in business. My other tip, which is tip 3, if you are going to need to schedule your marketing or content in general, please don't leave it lying there for months without reviewing it. That's one big no-no that I think a lot of us are aware of, but some people do tend to do, and that's okay. We get busy and all the rest of it, but do go back, because things do change with business and externally, and our business should always be constantly reviewed and revised, which leads me on to my last tip, which is tip 4. Always make sure to review your business. And sometimes we're in the mode of churning ahead and we forget to review what's been good and challenging to our businesses, our processes, and essentially our growth. So in the month of June, I invite you to not only review your finances, but really take in and review your business. And then once you have, it'll certainly be easier to take that first step at beginning to revise and create your goals and prepare for the year ahead. Anyway, like I said, it's a short one today. So thank you. That's just me, Nikki Cali. Next week's episode, actually, we'll be chatting to Tanya Jalil from Hazel Media. And Tanya offers the perfect mix and guidance and support with insight and ideas to her clients. And she provides them clarity and confidence to get more visible for their audience. So listen in next Friday for this chat. Again, thank you for tuning in, and be sure to like and download or subscribe to the Wise Dome podcast. Thanks again, and have a fabulous weekend. Thanks for listening to the Wise Dome podcast. If you enjoyed and have been inspired by this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, do subscribe and please share it with others. post about us on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, Nikki Cali, you can follow me on Instagram at Wise Dome Podcast, WISEDOME Podcast. I'm Nikki Cali. Thanks again, and we'll catch up next time.